Hey, it's Dior, aka Pretty Boy in Crypto, and thought I'd make another quick video just about the community Q&A we had. Just a little, it was just out of nowhere, honestly. There's just some of us kind of talking in the Discord, and the developers decided to just hop in and talk with us, and all of a sudden, we went from having like 10 people on a call to over 300, as you can see here in the picture. But it's just a quick Q&A with the devs, just talking about just a bunch of stuff coming up, and just answering people's general questions on stuff in the past and stuff in the future. And I just thought I'd kind of do a quick recap. And thanks to Josh McGruff here, who made a quick Twitter thread about it, and I'll link his Twitter in the description so you can check it out yourself if you want to see the tweet. But it was pretty long. I'd say, lasted about a good hour at least, maybe even two. And so just to get started off here, for the Parasect completions, they're trying to see if they can possibly get a kind of tool going to see if people can somehow kind of be like 100% sure that they have all the cards in their Parasets, just so people, don't get as concerned thinking, oh, am I missing one? Am I not missing one? Just a way for people to just have a complete reassurance whether or not they have a complete set. And again, there's no promise on that. Just they'll see if they'll be able to get it or not. And next would just be career opportunities. A couple people asked if they needed new people for the team, and they just essentially just said that in the near future they'll probably be looking for a few spots to fill. So look out for that if you're interested. And a couple people asked about the past drop and how they dealt with bots. And I talked about this in one of my previous videos, talking about how the PD1 drop happened. But again, essentially, there were many people who tried to bot, and it did cause the most premium packs to sell out within I'd say about 2 to 3 seconds or less. But none of those, at least little to no, none of those transactions really went completely through, as the devs did have a way to detect which ones were bot transactions and to cancel them themselves, and send those packs out back to the community. And they're looking to, apply the things that they kind of learned from that drop and see if they can make it even better in the next one. And I know a lot of people have been just kind of concerned overall about, oh, am I even going to be able to get any packs because things are going to be so hyped? I promise you, they're 100% working on a way to make sure as many people can get packs as they want. Even if you can't get the most premium type of pack, I can almost guarantee you'll probably be able to get at least some kind of pack when the pack drop happens, as long as you're there on time, of course, during the drop. And moving on here, so Merchant, one of the heads of the actual game development side, was asked what type of game they're really looking to make, what kind of complexity do they want, and as you can see here, they just mentioned it's between your longest Hearthstone game and shorter than a Magic the Gathering game. I guess what they did mention though was they wanted to have a nice bit of complexity to it, but also not drag on for like God knows how long, as a lot of other card games tend to do. And moving on here, again, just to kind of talk about something called card continuum. I might talk about it in another video some other time, but essentially just reiterating the fact that these cards that are being released right now are part of the alpha set, and there will later be a beta set and a gamma set in the future, which with much larger edition sizes, making them a lot more accessible and cheaper for people in the future, to make the actual game a lot cheaper and more accessible for somebody to enter, so that they can capture the entire market, not just the rich NFT market, because like with the price of cards that you can see, like these just aren't realistic for actually having a healthy game. So like for example here, if you look at this card right here, Cost of Creation, the best card by the way because my name's on it. I'm going to keep telling you that. I have no shame. And right here you can see the edition size is 200, 2000, and this is for the alpha version of this card. Once the full alpha set is released, as you can see, only about there's 1200 still in the dev wallet, so there's about 750 of these sent out already total. Once this 2000 gets filled and they move on to the next card continuum, CC2, which would be in beta, at that point you would see this same card would be released. However, you might see an edition size instead of 2000, and this is just a random number I'm making up, you might see 10,000, let's say, and then in the third set, the CC3, you would see like 30,000, something like that, making essentially making it that you're just scaling the edition sizes up, and they have a specific algorithm for that to kind of just match all the cards together. But again, it's just to make cards more accessible, but at the same time, your original cards, your alpha set cards, will still hold their value as they're still maxed out to that 2000 edition size. And another thing was actually as well as that, the art for some cards can possibly be changed so that they're not the exact same artwork. For example, you might get to see like a side profile of a card, because many of these cards are built to be like 3D in a sense. So many of the arts might have kind of alternate art in that case. Again, to differentiate your alpha set from later sets. And again, talking about physicals, because many people like to ask about that. Again, regarding physicals, I wouldn't expect any for like a good while. Like it's not really super high priority, as they want to get the actual game itself out before they can focus on something like crazy as sending out a bunch of cards all over the world to thousands of people, right? That just takes a lot of work. So they just talked about how once this is again far in the future, when let's say you go to the store and you're able to buy a pack of parallel cards, like actual physical ones, you might be able to redeem like a code there that would actually give you the NFT version of like a certain card and such. That's like a idea that they're having to implement far in the future again. But the other thing is standard cards and SEs will have a way to redeem, will be redeemable for physical versions. Both of them will. It'll just change like how hollow the card is and such. But again, this is in the far future. This again talks about how with the AR technology, you might have seen leaks on the Twitter about the AR leaks and how they might look, and they talked a little bit about what you might expect to see from that in the future. And you can expect, again here it says standards might look a little bit more flat and pretty basic, whereas SEs will be more immersive, more animated, and masterpieces again will fully pop out, which are honestly going to be just gorgeous. And again here can get NFTs out of physical packs again in the future. And again, Merchant talked about how he was a professional Magic the Gathering player for 3 years, and he's worked on RuneScape as well in the past, so he has lots of experience in this space. And he was just asked about an influence on the kind of thought process of the game and the themes, and again talked about how it's based on 90s card games and collecting, and just kind of trying to bring that back in the crypto and NFT space. And again, complexity, between Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering. And yes, they're trying to make it approachable for anybody who wants to play the game, whether or not you want to play it competitively or you just want to play it casually. Player versus AI, and there's of course PvP, and there's going to be future competitive tournament mode and ranks, and there'll be things like seasonal rewards, and if you've seen like the 10% royalty that's on cards, 5% of that goes back into the community. That money there will be used for things like seasonal rewards, again, because like they said, it's going to be a pay-to-earn game, play-to-earn game, sorry. And then moving on, let's see. Yeah, so with the first drop for PD1, essentially the way it worked is that they pre-minted all the cards and people bought the packs, and essentially the RNG kind of happened off-chain. So they just had an algorithm that was to send you certain cards, but they were trying to work on having a type of on-chain RNG process to really ensure fairness, and so that nobody feels like there's any kind of cheating going on. Because I know there's been other projects where essentially they'll say, oh, like congratulations to this person who got a super rare card, and they're totally not like affiliated with the developers or anything, and but again, which is why the developers themselves didn't participate in the pack drop, if anybody was curious. And they have stated what cards that they've gotten as just as legacy, as like members of the team. Again, some people have been wondering, as not all the cards have been completely released for each card that's been out. So for example, Cost of Creation here, again, like I was talking about 1,200 of these still haven't been fully released to the public, and people were wondering, how might these be released? Will the majority of them be in the next drop? How will that work? So they did confirm that not all of these, all this like 1,200, for example, in this case, will all be in the next drop or anything. There's multiple drops still after this. There's another one in like January, February-ish, if I'm not mistaken. So it'll be split between those, and even possibly past that. And that also extends to things like prime keys and catalyst drives. Over the next 3 or 4, drops and releases to people. And again, redeem physical cards from NFTs to the site and retail distribution. Okay, yeah, we already talked about that. But yeah, so again, if you see, that there's like a certain amount owned by the team still, and that we have, the drop coming up, don't think that the majority of the supply is just going to come out instantly in the next drop. It's going to be split like widely between the next drops and such, which does have an effect on how the market might move in the future, which I'll probably talk about in a future video as well. And again, talking a little bit about Prime, the play to earn currency. It is going to be an ERC20 token. It would have many uses, like buying cards, buying packs and stuff, and for the future trading system that they're going to implement in the website itself, or the app, sorry, so that you wouldn't really have to pay gas, but you just be able to pay through Prime as like a kind of transaction fee, or be able to trade, let's say, one card plus a certain amount of Prime for another card, for example. And again, somebody asked about kind of esports. There's already a couple teams who are looking into creating teams for the game. Moving on here, again, 50, 60 new cards, art cards, card backs, bunches more new stuff that we had in the first drop will still be in the second drop. Again, here, the visual differences that I mentioned. You might see side profiles, you might see slightly altered art, things like that. And again, that's not completely promised, but it's something that is completely possible or within their reach at the moment, as what they think. And again, true, honestly, Merchant does have a really nice soothing voice. Honestly, I prefer his over mine. But shit, man, here I am making videos. So, I mean, to be fair, that's what he did too. So, I'm just following in his footsteps here. I'm trying my best here. But yeah, I think that's overall it for that community call. Overall, it was good. It was pretty informative. A lot of this stuff was kind of already known by many, but there's a bunch of new people recently in the past couple weeks with the movement in the market. So it was really nice to have that for a lot of the newer people who weren't aware of a lot of these things. And it builds a nice relationship with the developers when there's quick direct interaction with them occasionally with the community. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this one. I'm probably going to have another video talking about market analysis either today or tomorrow. So look out for that. Thank you. Peace.